Hello students, my name is Mr. Harshal Neskar and we are studying the subject of basic human rights. This is lecture number 16. From last four lectures, we are studying the social problems that are present in our Indian society and the government programs and plans or strategies that are made to overcome these particular social problems. And in this lecture we are going to study biggest social problem that has been present from the very long period in our country, that is the communal conflicts. So before studying or going too deeper into the particular problem of communal conflict, we have to study what the particular word communalism means. So basically communalism is an ideology which states that society is divided into religious communities whose interests differ and are at times even opposed to each other. So basically it is an ideology which divides the society on the basis of various manners like religions. All right, so the antagonism practiced by the people of one community against the people of other community and religion can be termed as the word communalism. All right, so this antagonism goes to the extent of falsely accusing, harming, and deliberately insulting a particular community and extends to looting, burning down the homes and shops, dishonoring women, and even killing the persons of other community. So that is the particular concept of communalism. Also, the communal persons, those are related with the communalism, are those who practice politics through the religious communalism. So, among those religious leaders are communal who run their religious communities like business enterprises and institutions based on this communalism. So communal is not one who is man of religion, but one who practices politics by linking it with the religion. All right. So the communal is not a word or not a man who is a represented of religion, but it is the one person that who practices the politics by linking it with the religion concept. And these power politicians are not good Hindus or good Muslims or not good Sikhs or not good Christians, Parsis or Buddhists. They can be viewed as dangerous political scum only. All right. And for these people, God and religion are merely the instruments to be used to live luxuriously as the kind parasites of society and to attain the political goals. So basically, the communal leaders, they don't want the peace in the society. They just want to use that particular communal conflicts uh, to use for their own advantages. All right, then we will the according to the sociologist TK Women, he has suggested there are six dimensions of a communalism. All right, so first one is the asimologist, then there is welfarist, then there is retreatist, then retaliatory, separatist, and secessionist. So we will study these particular communal words in brief. So basically, assimilationist is the one in which small religious groups are assimilated or integrated into a big religious groups. Such communalism claims that the scheduled tribes are Hindus or Jains are the Hindus. All right. So basically, that is the concept of assimilationist. Then there are welfarists. The welfarist communalism aims at the welfare of a particular community, say improving living standards and providing for education and health of Christians by the Christians Association or like Parsi associations working for the benefits of the only Parsis community. Alright, such communal mobilization aims at working for the members of only that particular community only. Then there are retreatists. The retreatist communalism is one in which a small religious community keeps itself away from politics. For example, the Baha'i community who prescribes its members from participating political activities. Then there are retaliatory communalists. Then these are the people who attempts to harm, hurt, injure the members of other religious communities if they have feel like they are being attacked. All right. So then there are the separatists. The separatist communalism is one in which one religious or a cultural group wants to maintain its cultural specificity and demands a separate territorial state within the country. For example, the demand of some Mizo's and Nagas in northeast India, or Bodos in Assam, or of Jharkhand tribals in Bihar. Alright, so those are the separatist communalists. Alright, then there are the secessionist. The secessionist communalism is one in which a religious community wants a separate political identity and demands an independent state. A very small militant sections of Sikh population demanding a Khalistan, or some Muslim militants demanding independent Kashmir were engaged in practicing this type of communalism. So I think you have understood the 6 dimensions of particular the concept of communalism. There are assimilationist, welfarist, retreatist, retaliatory, separatist, and secessionist. So basically, these words differentiates the communal people. All right. Some of these are very dangerous to the particular society, or some of them can be also non-dangerous or non-hazardous to anyone, but they can be only they only think about the only their community only. All right. Then the we will study the features of communal riots, or the on what features, on what basis the communal riots are engaged. We will study that part. The communal riots are morely politically motivated than fueled by the religion. So basically, the communal riots that happens are more politically motivated than it is fueled by the religion basis. Besides the political interest, economic interest also plays a vigorous part in fermenting the communal clashes. Alright, then there is the probability of recurrence of communal riots in a town where communal riots have already taken place once or twice is stronger in a town in which riots have never occurred. So basically it gives the probability of recurrence of the communal where riots where it is already happened or not happened. All right, then there are the most common communal riots take place on the occasion of religious festivals only. Then the use of deadly weapons in the riots is on the ascendancy. That means the recent communal riots, they have shown the pictures like the communal people are using the very deadly weapons. All right. So now we will study the basic causes of communal riots that are happening throughout the society. So these are the basic causes, the social factors. There are religious factors, political factors, legal factors, economic, so psychological, administrative, historical, local, and international factors also. We will study them in brief in the next slides. So basically, there are some social factors for communal riots. So there are like social traditions, caste and class ego, inequality, and religion based social stratification. Suppose there are some social traditions of a particular caste, and if that particular traditions are get harmed by other community, then there will be a communal conflict between those communities, and that particular factor is considered as the social factors responsible for the particular communal riot. Then there are the religious factors. Obviously, the communalism, it is based on the religious differentiations. All right, and the decline in religious norms and secular values of a particular religion. Then narrow and dogmatic religious values, the narrow-mindedness of particular religion, or the dogmatic thinking of particular religion, it is also responsible for the communal riots. Then there are the use of religion for political gains, or the communal ideology of religious leaders. So some of the religions, there are some leaders who only think that the communal riots can only help them to gain their political interest. All right. Then there are the political factors. Basically, this is the most dangerous communalism that is present in our country. So the political uh, communalism, it is a religion based politics, and these particular religion dominated political organizations that are based on a certain religious thinking, and they start the communal conflicts based on their political interests only. Then there are the canvassing in elections based on the religious considerations. So in many uh, elections, the political people, they canvass the particular religious considerations of particular community for their own benefit. Then between some social conflicts, there is always a political interference, and which again goes to the increasing of communal conflicts. Then there are the instigation or support of agitations by politicians for vested interest, also political justifications of communal violence. So some of the political leaders, they also justify their actions of communal violence regarding like they have been attacked, or their religion have been attacked by the other community. So that is a very dangerous thing for a society like our India. So there are also failure of political leadership. So some of the secular people, they their failure to stop these particular communal riots also leads to these particular conflicts that are arising in our society. All right, so that was the political factors that causes the communal conflicts. Then there are also economic factors behind the communalism. The economic exploitation and discrimination of minority religious communities. So basically, the minority religious communities, they have been exploited and discriminated on the basis of economic background for a very long period of time. All right. Then there are the lopsided economic development. Suppose a person, he wants to develop some uh, property, and if there that particular property is belong to some community or a minority community, then there will be a communal conflicts. He wants to uh, start that particular communal conflicts, or which is basically advantageous to that particular person who wants to develop that property and gain some economic valuations. All right. Then there are the non-expanding economy. If there are uh, the economy of that particular society, it is if it is not expanding, then the leaders of that particular community, they start to uh, starts to cause the communal conflicts between the two communities. All right, then there are the displacement and non-absorption of workers from the uh, more than one community. The influence of foreign money in provoking the religious conflicts. Obviously, this particular part is will be considered in the international factors also, but the as the foreign money is involved in that particular communal conflicts taken place in the society, it will be also called as the economic factor. So basically some of the foreign people, they influence the particular community people to provoke the communal conflicts between that particular country. All right, then there are the legal factors. All right, suppose a community if there is an absent of common civil code or the human right valuations, if there is no if it is absent and in that particular society, all right, then there are the special provisions and concessions for some communities in the constitution. So some of the country, they have the special provisions and concessions of a particular community in their constitution only, but fortunately, this is not a case in our constitution. The special status of certain states. So there are some country also, they have the uh, states, those having special status. In our country, there are also some states like Jammu Kashmir, Nagaland also, they have the special status in our constitution only. Then the reservation policy or the communal conflicts based on the reservation is also considered as a legal factor causing the communalism. Then there are the special laws for different communities. If a country have the different laws for different community, then there that particular thinking that will lead to a communal conflicts at some point of time. Right, then we will study the psychological factors that causes the communal conflicts. The factors like social prejudices, stereotyped attitudes, distrust, hostility, rumors, fear psychosis, and misinformation or misinterpretation or misrepresentation by a mass media. These factors can be considered as a psychological factors to cause a communal riots. Basically, stereotyped thinking of a particular community by other community, it will lead to the communal conflict. All right, also by a mass media, if there is some rumors spread by that particular media, or the misinformation, misinterpretation or misrepresentation given by that particular media, it will also cause the communal conflicts. And while communal riots are taking place, particularly these type of things happen in the mass media only or the social media only, and it will causes the uh, very dangerous thinking of a particular that community. Then there are the administrative factors that causes the communalism. Lack of coordination between police and other administrative units also sometimes causes the spreading of communal riots in the society. The ill-equipped and ill-trained police person. So suppose a communal conflict is taking place and the police force is not well equipped or well trained, then that will also lead to a uh, spreading of communal conflicts. Also, the inept functioning of intelligence agencies. The intelligence, the suppose the intelligence agencies are not functioning well, or they are not using their resources uh, to stop the particular communal conflicts, that will also cause the spreading of communal conflicts. Or biased policemen or police excesses and inaction, it will also cause the communal conflicts. So that was the administrative factors. These are the factors that are caused due to the lack of administrative skill of a particular government. Then there are basically historical factors. All right, the history of the particular community with the other community, it will basically causes the communal conflicts. So the damage to a religious institutions, obviously that is the biggest reason that will cause the communal conflicts. The damaging of Babri Masjid, that was the basic cause for the 1992 communal conflicts between Hindu and Muslim in our country. The divide and rule policy of colonial rules, this particular policy was used by British colonials or the East India Company, and they divided the particular community of our country. And from that point, our communities uh, are in conflicts with each other, and still it is playing a very vast role in communal conflicts. Then there are the partition trauma. The partition trauma of 1946 and 47, it still causes the people of the particular community to have the hatred towards each other, and that particular uh, history between these communities, it will never be healed, and the conflicts between these communities, it will happen on all the time. Also there are the past communal riots happened between the communities, it will again uh, get outside if the some of the particular communal leaders, they try to start the conflict between the two communities. Also, there is a historical reason of old disputes on a land of temples and mosques. So basically, the Ayodhya issue that is being circulating these days, that the dispute of a land of uh, temple and mosque. So that particular cause is a very dangerous thing to cause the communal conflicts. All right. So that was the historical factors that causes the communal conflicts. Then there are the local and international factors. In the local factors, so basically religious processions, slogan raising, rumors, land disputes, local antisocial elements, then group rivalries also are there to cause the communal conflicts. So basically, when elections are there, the political leaders, they starts to raise their communal issues, and they will start the rumors or the disputes with the other community based on to gain the advantages in the particular elections. Or suppose there are some groups that are rivals to each other, and they will start the conflict based on the community issues only. So those are the local factors. Then there are also international factors like the training and financial support from other countries. So there are particular countries, those are neighboring our society, and they give the training and financial support to the terrorists in our country, and that is the major issue in front of our government. The other countries mechanizations to disunite and weaken our Indian society, and then to support the communal organizations. So they basically do disunite and weaken our society and support the communal organizations that are present in our country. So these were the international factors. So basically these were the uh, some of the factors that causes the communal conflicts right now. All right, so now we'll study the consequences of communal conflicts. The greatest sufferers of communal violence are the innocent common people who get caught inextricably into circumstances beyond their control. So in communal violence, the innocent common people, those are the only uh, people get caught into the irreversible circumstances, and the major damage is happening to that particular common peoples only. So there is an avoidable loss of life, and essential public property also gets damaged in the communal conflicts, and it leads to the hooliganism, and the situation is often exploited by antisocial elements by plundering and indulging in activities only for their personal gains. The anti-national elements get adequate opportunity to fan anti-national feelings and work on creating an atmosphere to break the cohesiveness of our society. So the basically the communal conflicts, or the leaders of these particular communal conflicts, they start the anti-national elements, and shows the way of anti-national thinking or feeling to their particular community, and it works on creating an atmosphere that will break the cohesiveness of our Indian society. The atmosphere of uncertainty and internal turmoil decides the foreign investors to set up their businesses in India. So as the atmosphere in our country, it will get damaged due to the communal conflicts, the foreign investors, they will uh, start thinking like they have to they uh, they don't want to set up their businesses in India, as the atmosphere in our country, very it is not good for their business. All right, so these are the consequences. So these are the some photos from the communal conflict that have happened in our country, and this shows a very disturbing photos. So the communal conflicts are the ones that should not happen at all. All right, so these were the parts of communal conflicts. So in this lecture, we have studied the concept of a communalism, the particular factors, the social factors, or the whatever that factors that causes the communal conflicts. Then we studied the six dimensions of communalism. Also, at last, we studied the consequences of communal conflicts. So that was for this lecture, and in the next lecture, we will study how we can handle the communal conflicts. All right, so if you have any doubt regarding communalism, you can comment down below this section. All right, thank you for listening lecture.